I always love when the older guys show respect and love to the newer generation. We have a Washington legend, Pierre Garçon, former wide receiver, showing love to the current wide receiver room, Deebo Samuel to be more specific, as he said Deebo Samuel is a similar player to him. Let's talk about it.
The way that we live is not for everybody.
Nah, that ain't it, y'all.
How do you think the rest of Jaden Daniels' career is going to go? If we're, 6, 7 games into Jaden Daniels' career, and he's already milking injuries? Like,
stop saying my name, you dick riding bastard. I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she cry for him, and Shawty is the winner. You can tell that Shawty's no beginner, she's confident.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We have the Washington Commanders video. And in today's video, I'm coming on here with the video where we're going to be talking about former Washington player Pierre Garon showing respect and love to the current Washington Commanders player Deebo Samuel. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload new videos like this to the channel. On the road to 10,000 subscribers, so that'd be greatly appreciated if you reach that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Let's get straight to it. So I know. One, not everybody can be a legend. Y'all use the word legend very loosely. I get it. I understand it. But this is my generation, right? This is my generation. I wasn't alive for Art Monk and Gary Clark and all those guys. You know what I'm saying? But this right here, Pierre Garon, is definitely somebody I grew up on. And you know what's crazy about Pierre Garon is I remember him more so for the Colts than really us. Like, I remember him vividly playing with us, but like when I think of Pierre Garon, first thing that comes to my mind is Reggie Wayne, Pierre Garon, T.Y. Hilton, Peyton Manning / Andrew Luck for a stint. Like, I remember them days. And then when we got him, he had another like kind of second stint prime because he was outstanding with us. Pierre Garon, Deshaun Jackson, Jordan Reed, Chris Thompson, like that offense was so legit. Like, I'm telling you, bro. Like, even when he first came, when it was him and RG3 and stuff like that. But I'm thinking like that Kirk Cousins offensive lead with Pierre Garon, man. And, I remember when we first got Pierre Garon, bro. I was excited for getting Pierre, but I was really like excited once we got like Deshaun Jackson, because I'm like, that duo is going to be nasty, because not only do you have an offensive threat that can, you know, go over top in Deshaun Jackson, but you got the underneath big body receiver that can do so much damage in Pierre Garon. And I always loved watching Pierre, man. Again, I was a big fan of him when he was in Indianapolis, bro. And then we got him for a couple years as well. You know what's crazy, right? We got Pierre Garon in 2012. And listening to the interview clip that I'm going to play, he refers to us, like the Washington Commanders, as his team. Like, he's talking about we got another good weapon for us to win a Super Bowl. And I was kind of like a little bit like, I took that like a little bit surprised, because I definitely thought he would have, like, you know, been more supportive for the Colts, because that's the team that drafted him. And again, like, that's why I vividly remember him from, like, first. But then looking at it now, 2012 with Washington his first year, 2013 second year, 2014 third year, 2015 fourth year, 2016 it was his last year here in Washington. So technically, he spent about 1, 2, 3, 4. He spent more seasons here in Washington. He spent 4 seasons with Indianapolis and 5 seasons with Washington. So I guess, you know what I'm saying, with him spending more time here in Washington, he would go down as like a Washington Commander. Like, you know what I'm saying, that's his squad. But I call him a legend because he was successful in 2 places. And of course, he was successful in my team. So of course, I'm going to call him a legend. But then he goes on to an interview with Kay Adams today, and he basically brought up Deebo Samuel and how much success that we've brought to this team and changed it overall with Terry McLaurin and stuff like that. But we got to remember, he played in San Francisco as well, so he knows Adam Peters. Deebo got drafted in 2019, so he wasn't theirs last year in the league was 2018. So I'm sure he probably was around Santa Clara or was around 49, but probably not as a player. But he knows Deebo Samuel as well. And he said that Deebo Samuel is a very, very similar player to him. And when you first think about it, you're like, what? Like Pierre Garçon didn't take no handoffs. Pierre Garçon wasn't lined up as a a tailback or motioning out the backfield. But that's where a lot of people are get confusing, right? We forget Deebo Samuel. Yes, he is a tool, right? You can use him as a receiver, running back, but what is he first? He is a wide receiver. You can make the jokes and say he's a better running back than he is, or he's a fat running back. You know the little jokes that people like to make. But he got drafted to be a wide receiver, and he was a pure wide receiver first. And when you look at those two players' games, it is very similar because both of these guys are physical. Both of these guys are sick, like they're 6 foot, 6'1", 5'11", like the lowest. They're not the biggest in the world, but they're strong, compact. They can finish through contact. They can catch passes through contact. So it definitely is some similarities here. But I'm gonna let you go ahead and listen to what Pierre Garçon said about wide receiver Deebo Samuel here, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section. So this is former Washington player Pierre Garçon here.
Deebo is similar player as me, and Kyle Shanahan loves that. And Dan Quinn, no, Adam Peters is from San Francisco, so we were all in there together. So it was faith that kind of brought us all together and back to DC. And we're happy to have Deebo in DC to help Jaden Daniels and our offense get to the Super Bowl.
What Pierre Garçon had to say about Deebo, not too much said, but enough said to where we can kind of say, this is what we can expect out of Deebo Samuel in terms of play style, right? And I'm going to be completely honest with you, right? Garçon was so dominant for us. Like, let's look at the stats, bro. Like, the stats in 2012, he had about 633 yards. Okay, that's not the best year, right? But then in 2013, he had 113 receptions, the most in his career up until that point, and the most in his career looking at it now that he's ever had. And he had 1,300 yards in 2013, right? That was crazy. Then he follows that up with another 700-yard season, then a 700-yard season in 2015. And I really think that 2015 season, although he didn't have 1,000 yards or anything like that, that's because the offense was so prolific elsewhere. Again, it was so many different weapons you could go to on that offense. And then in 2016, he had another 1,000-yard season as well. So if Pierre Garçon and Deebo Samuel are kind of similar in their production here, I would take it. Because that's what a lot of people have to understand. Pierre Garçon was the number 2 option, right? It was always, in my opinion at least, you can correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. It was always Deshaun Jackson, Jordan Reed. Really Jordan Reed for me. Kirk Cousins and Jordan Reed was my number 1 option. And then in 2012 and 2013, Santana Moss was kind of still around like that 2012 season as well. So you still want to feature heavy Santana Moss. So that's probably why he didn't have 1,000 yards his first year here in Washington. But after that was Deshaun Jackson. It was Jordan Reed. They ended up drafting Josh Dotson. They always wanted to add more around Pierre Garçon. They never looked or relied on Pierre Garçon as their sole number 1 option. And again, it was that offense, regardless of how the season played out, 7-9 seasons with Jay Gruden and all that. You can say whatever you want. That offense always scored the ball. Always scored the ball. Remember, that was a stretch where Matt Jones and Robert Kelly, they had their somewhat breakout years, right? So we were running the ball really efficiently. And again, Vernon Davis was still around. Jordan Reed, Fred Davis. You know what I'm saying? And then going back earlier into 2013, 2012, we had contributions from guys like Aldrick Robinson at times and Leonard Hankerson. Oh my God, I'm going down a rabbit hole, bro. I'm reminiscing. I'm sorry. But, bro, like I said, if we can get half of the production or even similar production out of Deebo Samuel that we got out of Pierre Garçon, that is literally perfect. That is literally the best thing Terry McLaurin would have ever had. Because again, I understand the excitement of Deebo Samuel and bringing him here is to obviously, obviously add more playmakers to this room. But it also goes back to we need to get Terry McLaurin a number 2 option. If you believe Deebo Samuel's coming here to be the number 1 vocal point of this offense, you need to wash your face, in the words of Louis T, because you're tripping, right? So he's here to be our new age Pierre Garçon. Or if Pierre Garçon was your number 1 and Deshaun Jackson was your number 2, or whoever, Jamison Crowder, even like if that was your whoever your number 2 option was, that's who Deebo Samuel is going to be for this offense. Terry McLaurin is always going to be number 1. So that's why I'm just tempering your expectation, right? Like Deebo, I would love for him to go off for 1,300 all-purpose yards, but if he gives you 700 receiving and 300, 400 on the ground, like, you know what I'm saying? That's good enough. 1,000 all-purpose yards is good enough. That's what we got to understand. They play similar as a receiver. Physicality, you know what I'm saying? Catch through traffic, finishing, through routes, you know what I'm saying? Running through contact, running through arm tackles and stuff like that. But Pierre never was a guy that you can hand the ball off to. Deebo, you can hand the ball off to. Deebo, you can toss the screen to, and he can take it 20, 30 yards to the distance. You know what I'm saying? You could pitch the ball out to Deebo. You could run a toss left, toss right. Like, I'm telling you, bro, Deebo's gonna have a fantastic year here in Washington. Me personally, I'm going into it with no expectations in terms of stats. I don't even care if he reaches specific stat numbers, because unless you watch the games, you're gonna understand. All right, stats don't really mean nothing. What is he doing? What is he doing in the most crucial games? Deebo can go a whole game with having freaking 45, 50 yards, but in crunch time, in the drive we needed the most, he could have 3 fantastic catches that helps us set up a scoring drive. Or he can have a big run that can help set up a scoring drive, but that's never going to get covered enough, because people are going to look at the stat sheet and say, oh, Deebo only had 80 total yards. He wasn't nothing. No, it don't matter all the time about stats. Stats are cool, but it matters about when is he stepping up in the biggest moments. And looking at me, when I say that, I don't care what the stats look like. As long as he's helping us win Super Bowls, Deebo can go a whole game without having, a big play. You know what I'm saying? But as long as he's adding to the team, whether that's a lead block, whether that's getting 6-7 yards of carry, like, it's so many ways Deebo is going to contribute to this team. And I really hope a lot of people don't be too hard on him this year, or don't expect too much out of him this year, because he can contribute from so many different ways. That being said, this is a great comparison, and this is former Washington Commanders or Washington Redskins. I call him a legend because I literally watched basically his whole career I'm talking, again, Colts. And then now with us, Pierre Garçon will always have a special place in my heart, because he was an animal for not only the Colts, but also for us as well. That being said, let me know what you guys about this video in the comment section down below. As always, me and boy Juan Gotti. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. On the road to 10,000 subscribers, so we really appreciate it if you can reach that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Y'all have a blessed one. Stay safe. Be easy out there. Purrs. Happy Memorial Day too, y'all.
Never gave a damn. Ballin' like I'm Deshaun, throw the bomb, G. That's IG, my jersey never seen a lawn.